Hi gang, so this is a video about modifying the Vimle IKEA sofa, the chaise lounge specifically. You can probably already tell what I've done. So basically, because of the wall length that we had here, I wanted a corner sofa, but the only modular combination that would fit was with the chaise lounge. But the problem with that, as you'll know, is that it only comes with an arm up to there, and then you've got the leg that sticks out, and you can't really use it as a sofa. It ends up just being this useless little bit of seating area that, especially if you have friends or guests, no one can sit back and lean on there. They just have to kind of squat, or it's only just for laying out, which you might not be doing if you got friends around. What I went to do was add an extra arm on the end, and then you can get I think it's the Klegsman pillow that you can also buy from the IKEA website. And then it's the same height, as you can see, as the rest of the back covers. Okay, the headrest won't fit on that back spot because they're not slanted like the traditional sofa bits, but you can just sit there just like any of these other seating areas. Of course, throw on a pillow as well, and voila. So you've got the corner sofa, the flexibility of laying out on this one, and of course the storage underneath. So what I'll be doing in this video is walking you through, because as you'll have noticed, this one is quite a bit shorter than this one, because you can buy an extra arm that comes like that big, but if you just put it on there, it'll stick out here and it doesn't look professional like what I've done. I think it's professional anyway. So I'm going to show you how to turn an arm like that into one short like that, while it still looks factory finished, custom made, but also being solid and bolted in right, so that you can use it as a back support and have that flexibility, while also being able to take this off without having done any lasting or permanent modification, should you choose. If you're going to sell it, get rid of it, change it, you're not happy with this kind of style. So stay tuned, and I'll walk you through how to do it. So first things first, I'm going to take all the staples out of this arm that I'm going to modify. I'm keeping the packaging on as much as I can, just to protect it while I'm working on it. Yeah, I got one of those manual hand staplers off Amazon, and it came with this staple remover. So that's what I'm going to do. You just sneak the staple tool in, and then this little loosey bit pinches the top of the staple, and then you just pry upwards. Voila! Safely. Just put this up a bit more. Safely remove the staple. So what I'll be doing is, because I'll have what I need for my chaise lounge, and if you're going to do the same, is I need a 67 centimeter section of the arm, so I'll be removing staples up to roughly where I need to cut it, a little bit further back, just so I can peel back the foam padding to give me a clean area to work on and to cut. So that's 67 centimeters, or 58 feet 3/4 and 78 inches in imperial, and 3 fathoms and 2 hectares. Situations like that, you can kind of pinch it manually, and then this little bit there, if they are particularly stubborn. So not too much damage done, but again, not that it really matters. I just like to do things in a controlled way. Then you will have to follow your way around down here and across here, and you may have to go a little bit further back than you'd like. Same for the top, but it's important that we don't just cut this off, you know, with a blade all the way around, because once the actual wood is cut down, you just want to have that excess so you can wrap it around and restaple it properly, so at least you're getting proper coverage. If you cut it and then all of a sudden you've cut too much material and it leaves it's not enough to cover the end, that will not be pretty or professional. And even though this is DIY, we always aim to do things better than the company. So I'll crack on with doing the rest of that, and then I will pick up on the next bit. Right then, you godless heathens. I've removed all the stapling thus far to the mark that where the wood will be cut. Upon further re-evaluation and thinking, it looks like, realistically, for us to keep this all intact, after, I mean, this has all been cut and taken out to shorten the arm, we'd have to actually remove all the stapling, slide the cover off, cut this, slide the cover back on, which is fine, you know, that's obviously an option. But the one, that's more work. Two, you'd have to restaple all this, and it'd have to go back, as well as what the factory has done, which may or may not be realistic if it's your first project of this kind of nature. So the other option is, just thinking ahead, is that obviously we'll try and follow a similar reassembly of the arm once it's been shortened, which means that stitching or gluing or stapling around this area, because remember, for my purposes, this end, the non-professional end, is going to go facing towards the arm of the chaise launch, so it'll be hidden. So even if it's less than perfect, it's okay. So my thinking is, instead, what I'll do is I'll make a cut here and here where the stitching is. That'll allow me to open and peel back the padding, and then I've not taken any material off, so when it comes to the shorter arm, I can then at my leisure decide how I'm going to fold it over the arm and where to cut off the excess, like a Stanley blade or a pair of scissors, and that should be okay. There won't be any irreversible damage done to the arm. Sound good? Good. Aha. Aha. Oh, actually has stitching. Right, there's no need for that degenerate way of doing things. If you have a knife or something mediocrely sharp, you can also just pick the stitching if you'd like to be a bit more of a... By the way, as you can see over there, there is another arm. I didn't just buy a spare arm because I have a lack of faith in my abilities. Because, oh, it's picking up fairly good. That arm is for another project. I mean, for the other end of the sofa, but the reason with this one, I thought I'll do what I dream of, I'll do what I imagine. If it works, if it, you know, fine. If it doesn't work, then I can just have a normal, boring, ordinary chaise launch, and that is, I'll just have to accept that I'm going to have an average, mediocre life. And there's just it's a hard reality I'll have to contend with. Right, I'll be back in a second once I've undone this stitching. For the actual foam itself, just something thin and flat. This is a pain, like a filling putty knife, but just could even use a knife, anything. Don't need any real pressure because it's just glued on, but if you don't want to completely destroy the foam padding, if you want to be able to reuse it, then this works fairly well. I mean, again, it's not going to be... A sharp knife is probably better, but with a sharp knife you just do risk that if you're not very controlled with it, just cutting straight through the foam, and then you are left with nay foam. I'm assuming that the gluing of this will be of different density depending on what part of the arm it is, because they know where the high impact areas will be and they will glue accordingly. So you can use like a jabbing motion, a slicing motion, but again, if it's heavily glued you will lose some of the foam, but hey, pardon all my aggressive shaking. I will get a gimbal, I promise. As soon as I make £70 on this channel, I will run to eBay or wherever the cheapest place is to get one of those DJI gimbal things. There you go, so that's one pad removed. Voila. Not too bad. A little bit of padding left there, but that's fine. It's not going to affect the usage of that piece. That's the other thing. Don't be, ever too hasty or aggressive with the hacking and pulling bits off, because the more panels we can use as is, not only obviously it saves on cost, but because these are factory cut, they'll be parallel, they'll be square, and if we can reuse them as they are, it'll ensure that the new end of the arm remains square, which is very important. One, for aesthetic, and two, just for structural integrity, which is always nice. We do like integrity on this channel. Oh yeah. So next we'll just keep working our way around. Lift this bit of foam here with this, because you can see it comes just straight to the end. It means that once we've set our line, and again you can do this many ways. You can either if you've got a set square or that kind of thing, and you can get a reference off this with a square and strike a line this way and then that way, or because these are all factory cut and they will be square, as I said, get a tape measure and just well, for me, I'll be running off this way to 66 centimeters, as I said, or whatever length you're using. I'll work out at 66 what's left here, because it's more accurate to use a shorter distance to run off. Just run that, set the mark at whatever this may be, 20, something like that, and then do it a couple of reference points and the bottom there, and then you can, with a ruler, strike a line to get it straight. Run off this corner up to the point, flip the arm over once we've peeled the backing off, do the same again at a few different intervals, strike a straight line, and then we'll be able to cut it. But because you can see how this is designed, where this padding just runs to the edge of the actual arm, what that means for us is that once we get this line, we can leave a little bit of excess overhang, but we can just cut this foam off because we won't be using it. That's the good thing. So for example, this is not my favourite tape measure. I like to use a Hultafors Talmeter, but I can't find. And then you get a ruler, or if you're a crazy guy like me, you can use the back of a tape measure. Look at that bad boy. That is what I'm talking about. Oh. And once that's done, just run a knife. Is this a sharp knife there? Yeah. Good. And then the foam padding underneath, and then you'll start to hear the scrape of the wood, and then come at it from this side. Very nice. And then with this part of the foam, there's not too much adhesive on this side, because again, it's not an area that'll be getting a lot of impact. Scissors actually. Oh yeah. And again, better too much overhang than not enough, so always err on the cutting on this side of the appendage. I'm only being silly, I don't know what appendage means. Good, so as far as the padding is concerned, we are done with this side. What I'm going to do now is flip it over, retake measurements so I can strike a straight line, and then cut the rest of the padding, and then we can begin making a plan on cutting this excess bit of arm off and doing it as square and straight and true that we can. Voila. I mean, next step surgery here, lads and ladettes, at this kind of fine work we're doing. We want to go a little bit further back than you think is necessary. The reason being, because we have to fold this over and just allow some room for the old saw. So this, of course, you can just tuck in there, and with this here, again, even that way, or reverse tuckage is the official term. Transfer the line around the corner. I know that wasn't very precise. What are you going to do about it, mate? The smaller the target, the smaller the miss. So that more accurate we can try and be. When we inevitably do make mistakes, we've not started off with a massive inaccurate reference to begin with, because then when we make a mistake on an inaccurate reference, then the deviation is going to be way worse. Do you understand? Good. Because the best tool you have, children, is the one that's within arm's reach. You can have really great tools, but if they're somewhere far away and you can't bother to get them, you won't use them. Hence, that wise saying by many a tradesman. Boom. I am a tradesman, despite being barefoot. Subject of cutting. Obviously there's many ways to cut a fish, or skin a cat, and various analogies. Got this pen. You can do it by hand. Good old Aldi faithful, perfectly fine, 12 TPI I believe, 10 teeth per inch, as here, and that'll do a job perfectly. You could have even used this. You can see how it says 90 degrees there and 45. I don't know how accurate, but you can use these saws also to... looks pretty square to me. Pretty nice. Of course it does, I knew that already. You can use something like that to just hand cut all the way around, because you've read enough forum posts, you feel that you're a level above the average, and you are a man who can appreciate, or woman, fine tools. You can use a Japanese style saw, Shikonin. This is from Axminster, but there's a lot of places that sell pull saws like this. Again, a bit more of a trick to get used to, and because they don't have a spine like the Western style saws, they can wander, but they've got finer teeth, make a cleaner cut, which is absolutely irrelevant for a job like this. or you can use a circular saw and a guide to cut it and do it very quickly. Or if you're a man of the cloth, you know, you can get out your Mafel plunge track saw and a rail and rail guides, and you know, do precision surgery grade cutting for something that's made out of MDF. So use the tool of your choice. I'll be using this bad boy because it's new, so the teeth will be good. And I also like to keep my abilities to cut square honed by cutting by hand where I can, and start hacking for dear life. Oh, and then there was two. Next, don't throw this away just yet, is we will have to whether remove the staples, or in this case is where staples are too deep to be able to do that. We'll be pulling off and taking out these panels, because we still need the end part that will go into the new section of the sofa. And we will also need the leg part that will get screwed in. So this needs to go here. As the beady and eagle-eyed among you will have seen, or noticed if you have something similar, this is actually set into the panels, the side and bottom panels, and the rail as professionals would call it. What that means is that once we've taken this out, we can use it, we can take that and just place it on top of here to take the measurements, and on this part as well, place that there and mark it, how deep it goes, and then we'll have to cut out a little notch in either one where this will sit. They've obviously stapled all this stuff together. I would personally, if you do have it, a little 3mm wood drill bit and some 30mm screws, I'll just do that and get again, they won't go under a lot of pressure because it'll just be getting pushed into the floor when people sit in it, so it doesn't need to be fixed on by anything crazy. They've obviously used staples for that reason, but you either need a pretty decent, powerful stapler instead of the little hand pump ones. They may do it, but I have a feeling they won't. And many more people have access to just a drill or a screwdriver, so that's the simpler way, and because that's all it's attached by. Now there is, like I say, we'll be taking this bit, we'll be taking the front panel bit, and also anything else you see on the inside of this thing. For example, this wooden rail here, we'll take that because the reason it's there. This stuff already exists on the other end, so that's fine. That we don't have to do anything about that, but this piece we will want, and that piece, and this piece to transfer into this gap. And then we'll staple it back into place, or screw it. For the thin parts, we'll use staples, obviously, but for the thicker parts, you can also use screws. So the key is to preserve as much as we can the pieces that we'll be reusing. I do like it. I'll be sad to see it go when I make up some excuse on Amazon that it was faulted to send it back, so I get to use it for free. No, we do not do morally questionable things like that. Good. So ideally we want to bash it this way, for a lack of a technical term. As I go along. Oh, more dust. Right. So now we can see what we're working with. As you'll see here, this was stapled front on to these pieces. Well, again, in the name of laziness, I don't have a hammer, but I do have a piece of wood. So just on any object, just strike at the corner, and this high-end piece of furniture comes apart. And then here, because it's obviously stapled this way, just wiggle it and it's loose. So we still have our important piece intact. I would leave this brace as it is because it's going to have to stay in the same place. But as you can see, it was glued to that panel that was sitting here. Therefore, we'll again, when we put this into that section arm, I just recommend a couple of screws in here as well, just to keep it together. But we'll get to that. And again, for you eagle-eyed, you see that for these parts for this to fit in here, there's a bit of a notch there, whilst in the freshly cut one there is not. What does that mean? That means that we will have to cut this back a little bit. These little strips here. Not to worry, all in a day's work. So the simplest way is, dang it, my newly made friend and all-purpose hammer, the piece of wood. Put this supporting brace on something hard, and then just hit the leg. You'll see it's come away there. And for this part, if you want to aim in the corner. Now, unfortunately, it has come away from the base, which we didn't want, but it's not a problem because, as you can see, once we wiggle this loose, like a goose, ta-da, we can get rid of the part that we were trying to. We'll have to remove these staples, but then the old staples provide a bit of a location pin, so to speak, for putting this back in, and then we can reinforce it with a screw, and we are good to go. Right, so those notches have been cut. This, well, I can't show you because of the nails, but if we just flip it, you can see the edges meet. I just need screwing. So I'll just remove these staples. This is what I meant that would be getting in the way. So this fits in here fine, and this would fit in here, but if it wasn't for this piece of wood there. So what that means is essentially there we'll have to, well, you kind of have to just decide which is going to be easier or more difficult for you, whether it's going to be cutting along this piece of wood inside that way and then underneath across here somewhere, just a little bit, 15 mil essentially, to accommodate this, or, because there's always two ways to do something, hold this up in position, make a mark where the wood is conflicting, yeah, and again this will only be 15 mil deep. We'd have to really guess. We can just get a piece of leftover, line it up with the edge, go down to where it is, and then line it up again with this edge across the way, and then underneath, oh, keep it steady, score, just so you know. Obviously you don't have to go along this far, just to the edge of it, and then you can, with your saw, cut it. It'll probably fall apart anyway because it's all chipboard, but you can just cut more lines into it. And then just this stuff falls apart like Billy-o, as you can see. And what that means is that in here then you can, what am I saying? I'll have to go further because of this part as well, yeah. If we haven't got the right tools, it is difficult. But hey ho, you can do it. If this was a cost-saving exercise, I'd have never done it. But because I just need custom things, like we all do, because we're all unique, it means, my dear viewers, that I have to build my own things. Yes. So this goes in here. Now there's these pins there that I need to get rid of, to be honest. Just tuck this out of the way so you can see what we're doing. As you can see there then, there's I can't remember. I don't think this actually went on the inside, didn't it? Or did it? Wait. There go my toes. I believe jar of this is in the way. This is in the way. So, and I don't have my trusty staple remover anymore because I destroyed that. So we need something sharp to get strong to remove that. Bear with me. First we get rid of this bad boy because it's a lot easier to do than I thought. And secondly, and bash. No wonder this thing wouldn't come out. It's flared. Wow, that's dirty. You see how it's flared? It wasn't meant to come out. Thank you, IKEA. Right, trust me, a bit of blowout like that is not going to affect the compression strength of it that way or this way. You will see, it will be fine. Now let's try the fit at the end of the arm. The gargantuan mess that no doubt I have permanently put you off doing this, or trying this. These, like I say, I need to just remove a few staples, but or I may not, because I could just repurpose them. I'll go in here. Should I? Should I take that risk? I should. Yes, I should. In the name of doing things badly. So next, oh, by the way, not that I remember, recommend shilling or buying anything, but if it's for homeowners and DIY people, if there's one drill I recommend, it's the Bosch Flexi Click. I can see GSR 12V 15-15 FC. The reason is it's got the drill, so you can drill stuff. It's got the base kind of head where you can take a hex for the screws, so you can just drill a hole, pre-drill, and put a screw in, yada yada yada. But it's also got like a 90-degree one where, say for example in here, you forget and you need to drill a hole into this piece or screw, and you can't obviously get in with a 90-degree angle. You can put the bit in it. You can go in this way and still drill stuff that way. Enough of my monotone. Let's get getting with this project. So now I've used staples before because obviously I'm a professional and I need you to consistently and constantly be aware of that. But if you have not, I mean, regardless of that, I still, this is the chamber. You load it in this way because that's the way that this thing went in. So I assume this is correct. And the staples will be coming out that way. That way. Nice. Boom. And back out in there. I'll keep this out because I think I'm sure I'll need it. This adjusts the tension of so that how deep or how shallow you want the staples to go. I have no idea because I've never used this how deep it will go. What I do recommend is that it's on a solid surface so that the force of the staple isn't wasted because this thing bounces around away from it. It's on solid, so it just goes in. But again, I don't know how this is set, so we're just going to try it. If you can, try and base the stapler on the surface because then it just gives you some so that the staple doesn't go in at a funny angle. Let's give it a try. Hold it still, press down on the handle. That is not half bad, Rodney. That is not half bad. I'm happy with that, so I will just every, I don't know, 70mm, something like that. Usually you have markings on where it's going to end up, but this is so cheap that it doesn't. But that's fine, because again, this panel's not exactly a pièce de résistance, as the French would say. If any don't go deep enough, you can always encourage them with a few kind words in the local language. I know you're thinking, what the heck is this guy doing barefoot with a stapler and whatnot, but I promise you this will look the business when it's finished. But here we are. Oh, good. So this is now firmly back in place. I am screws here, 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 staples here, which is that word not difficult on the wrist? Cool. Good, so that's done. I'm happy with that. What we can do now is bring out the padding. I've got a feeling scissors will be better for this. Just because then with the scissors you can kind of ride on the edge of the wood and just snip. I don't think we do enough DIY barefoot in the UK or the US, to be honest. Until we've tried it, I don't think we should be knocking it. Or maybe we should. Good, that's nice and flush all the way around here as well, which leads us to the only part that I'm not too experienced in, but still a professional, of course, always, is the way it was done before is that it was just brought to the end and the seam was here, if you remember, like this. Since we are not going to get a sewing machine out or anything of that kind, what I'm proposing is that we, after reinstalling the end sponge, yes, is cutting this so that we can staple it to the wood through the sponge. That's what I'm proposing. What that would mean is that I'll probably cut a flap, find the corner, just pull it tight. You can see where it, because of the lines in the fabric, where it looks straight. I've done this before, obviously. I'm a professional, you see. Beautifuls. Then again for the lower corner, I shouldn't do this backwards, but I am, because I can, because I'm a professional. Only professionals do that kind of scissor job. Nice. Obviously this will have to be trimmed, but the way we do that is will put a single staple in here for provenance. Wonderful. I will then put this on first because I like it like that. He's so handsome. What's his name? Yeah. Good. Nice bit of tension in the arm. And then here obviously we can't. I mean, we can staple something here just for provenance. But a couple here for good measure. That was a little bit higher than I'd like. Encourage them home. Boom. I don't want to be too stingy with the staples. I should have left it a little bit more so I could have gone over the edge. Again, this is going to be hidden, so I wouldn't worry too hard because that's what a machine would sound like if it was doing what I'm doing. Give it some encouragement. I can't just snippity snip. Trim off all the excess, and then my main interest now really is the fit. Yabba. Oh, this is low because of the feet, but the fit, my good friend, is everything. Obviously I wanted this to stick out a little bit because that makes it look like it was his factory. Yeah, but that's good without the legs. That is nice. I will find the cover amidst the boxes. Put it on the arm and make the decision about the incision once it's on there. This is what it's kind of the finished product's going to look like. But as I said, there's the excess, so I just have to plan. You can go down the route of go to an alterations place, obviously, and get them to do it all professionally and yada yada yada. But if we weren't doing that, we wouldn't be doing DIY anyway. So my thinking is, as I did with the undercover bit, is unstitch this, I might not make an incision like I did before, cut either side because I don't want it to look like that. I think I'll figure out how to measure the maths, so to speak, but maybe just cut about this much overhang. What's that? 3 to 4 inches, about 10 centimeters either way, and then they can overlap each other in the middle. And this is a bit like putting a package together. Just bring this down without creating too much excess, obviously, and then just staples all the way down, keep it tight, because then my plan is, once this is butted up together, put the whole Chaise lounge on its side, and from the inside drill 2 holes, run 2 bolts with nuts, and so that they are clamped together, and then also lift the bed, and from this side drill maybe 4 holes, and then lift again on this side, put 4 bolts through so it's tight, and you've got solid back supports there, and then we've got the pillow that goes across here, and we are done. So this is the plan for trimming down the upholstery cover. I've folded everything over that way, and then roughly marked the midway point on it, and same again up here. Then what I'll do is fold everything over the other way, and again keep it flat, find the midway point, and that's where I plan to make the scissor cut. So this is the cut off bit now. As you can see, it's just about 3 inches, something like that, all the way around, and then when folded that falls in the center. So I'll do one side first, staple it, do the second side, staple it, then pull down the top bit and staple it, and keeping it, pulling it tight, keeping tension on it, and yeah, that'll be good. This bit's still got the Velcro, so you can do the little corner fold, so you can still Velcro it in there. keep it nice. So this is the semi-finished product. Like I said, folded this part first, stapled all along, then folded the second cut piece over, stapled all along, gave everything a good tap-aroo, just to make sure it's gone as far down as it can. All this leaves is the end piece here that I will again pull over and staple, sorry. But it just means it gives it, from the top end view, a pretty clean look. The attachment, the fixing, so get the sofa, the chaise lounge where you want it to be, where it's going to be in its final place, ideally, so that the legs are in the position they're going to be, and then when you clamp it all together, it's not one slightly off, there's any rocking or unwanted stress or pressure on any joint. Get it into place, pre-drill some holes all the way through. These are 10mm holes because I'm going to put, you can use 9mm drill bit, but I use a 10 because it gives you a little bit of room for error and variation. Make sure it's snug up to the joint up there and here, and then punch these holes through. Once you've done that, take off the plastic spacers that were in the original holes and move them to the holes that you've created. I've gone for 3, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom, just thinking if anyone's going to be leaning on that arm the best way. I thought some at the top and 1 at the bottom, that triangular formation would be fine. Or you could use 2 here, 2 there, 1 in the middle, whatever you please. Because it's such a long piece of furniture, I did put a brace in between, like a little divider. Again, just went to Tool Station, got these brackets you can see there for 90p each. They don't really cost much. And then you can put screws. I've put 4 on each side, and it's really solid. And it means that this way everything's tight, and then those arms, if anyone leans or pushes on them, this is making sure that that piece of wood there's not gradually getting pulled out or anything like that. It's solid as a rock. Good, so after that, I'm going to bring the arm up, put the bolts through on this side, and I got some washers as well. So these are the bolts, 60mm M8 bolts, Tool Station, 25mm M8 washers, just so that when I'm tightening these, there's just a bigger washer to spread them. Yeah, and then I've got some nuts from Tool Station as well for the other side, again with a washer on it. So I'm going to put those through. Right gang, so like I said, this is where I've turned it upright so that armrest can stay snug towards the other one. And then I've put the bolt and the washer through. Now, in the name of DIY, showing you in here, there we are. The bolt, I didn't realise the hole had landed on a piece of wood. You can see it's kind of like, I mean, I've drilled it out unknowingly, but it's not long enough. So the plan is to magically go down Tool Station and get a 100mm bolt that will go through. Again, it was like £1.70 for a pack, so it's not going to break the bank. But obviously, you're thinking that's when you put a bolt on that, it's going to be lopsided because it's, you know, one side's thicker, one side's in the air. So the plan is to actually put just a bit of super glue. Get this camera right. A bit of super glue. Just put just another piece of wood there that was scrapped from when we cut off the arm, and that way we can clamp on top of there, and everything's nice and even. And just other side of the bolt, honky dory. The others have come out okay. And this one down here, actually, you won't be able to see it. The hole there has actually come through the thicker part, so it's a good thing I got some longer bolts. But it's good. It's good when things go wrong. That's when you show how capable you actually are, by how you deal with unforeseen problems instead of just everything goes smoothly. Right, I'll get those 3 bolted on and we'll pick up then. Greetings and salutations. Right, so I've bolted them through 3 places. That's what I meant with the put an extra piece of wood, and then I could just on the other side of the bolt and then tighten it. One thing to keep in mind, depends if you want to go back and forth or not, is to get this piece of covering done, put on as well. And what I did, your choice again, but it's not permanent because this wraps around. It comes in a C shape because obviously that side of the chaise lounge is normally exposed. I thought I could either just put it on all the way and then put the bolts through the fabric and permanently ruin it, or if for some reason I do change my mind. What I did is I just picked the stitching on that end panel, that one here, and then put it to one side, and then just this side of the panel, just put it in, and then when I put the bolts in, it clamps it tight, and then velcroed the rest and went round as per. Just on the bottom, on the pre-existing arm, I'm probably going to, about there, make another hole, just to, because it's got 1, 2 existing bolts, but I think I'm going to put another top one there, 3, and that should be enough. And I'm going to now get on with assembling the rest of the sofa, the 3-seater, get that up and connected to this, and then show you the finished product. See you soon. And here's the finished product, the real deal. As you can see, that's the arm, and it looks very factory, so to speak. Flawless, absolutely flawless on all sides. So I was saying this is the joint, but honestly you can't tell, they really are seamless. No views on this side, even if you, how do I lift this up? Even down below, very good, nothing visible. Very, very nice. Yeah, and it's because of the bolts, rock solid. That was the third one I was talking about there. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. All feels very rigid. And like I showed in the opening of the video with the Flexman pillow you can buy, and essentially turn this into another corner sofa if you want it in that way. Very happy with it. Been in use now for near a month, and yeah, very happy with how it's turned out. So I recommend it. Hopefully the video's been helpful, and I will as I go and work through the flat, through the house, all the DIY projects, I will take you along. Bye bye.